Hi, I'm Louis Mann, TrueBuilt Home. If you've come to this page, or this video rather, then you've clicked that button at the top that says We Build Homes, You Build Wealth, and we're going to be discussing that with a little information, some facts, and we're also going to post this information on our website for reference later. You may have never thought of the possibility of building a home is also connected with building your wealth. But recently, a national lender paid a visit to our Tacoma office. He travels all over the place, and they're setting up a new program, an FHA construction loan. Now, I'll tell you, I'm not going to go into it right now, but this has got to be the most exciting thing I've heard since the big crash took place. An FHA program for new home construction. And so we're testing that in the Spokane market. But getting back to the point about building wealth, if you were to think that after your home was done, what would its worth be considering what you paid? Well, and we have facts to back this up because we took a poll. On average, you're going to end up with at least $5,000 worth of equity, and in a lot of cases, even more than that. And I'll get into those facts just a little bit later. So you might be wondering, though, what is equity? Equity is a word that we use in our business, but it basically means that the acquisition cost, or the cost of actually finishing the home, might be $250,000. So that's land, house, paint, appliances, everything. And then you have what's called an appraised value. What could you possibly sell it, or what does the bank value its worth at? Acquisition appraised, and the difference, if there's a plus, is called equity. That equity is yours, and this lender that came and paid us a visit said he traveled all the United States, and he found only in the state of Washington that there are a few builders who essentially give you most of the profit from the house so that you can have walk-in equity and we can produce volume sales. Kind of like a Costco concept. We take less profit, sell more homes, you end up with its value. The homes themselves are no different. They're not anything spooky or from some weird science lab. No, they're just a typical home built on a foundation on your site. Here's some grim facts to consider. At the end of 2012, 40% of all young home buyers were underwater on the home that they purchased. Essentially, they lost so much value, they couldn't sell the house because the mortgage payment couldn't be paid off. Essentially, they were stuck. You don't want to be that person, I can assure you. So, we recently sent out a poll to all the clients that we built a house for in the past. Some just being completed a week ago, some being completed 5 years ago. And we asked them, what was the equity that you enjoyed in your home? Now, here's what we found from all of that information. 96.6% of all of our past clients enjoyed some form of equity, and our first question was starting at $5,000 and up. 20% enjoyed between $20,000 and $50,000 worth of walk-in equity, and 10% basically answered this question. We have so much, we're just too embarrassed to mention it. They clicked that one. So between 50 and maybe upwards of 100, but it's not unusual to even have more, and I got a story to tell you. When we started the business, we started right before the big crash in 2007. One of the first homes that we finished cost about a little over $300,000. I think it was like $313,000. The bank's appraisal, so that's the acquisition cost, $313,000. The bank appraised it at $514,000, or $201,000 with that walk-in equity when the house was completed. When the crash happened just a few months later, eventually the client refied from an ARM that he took out into the 30-year fix because the rates were ridiculously low, 3.5%. So they had to reappraise the house. It came in at $365,000. So if you do the math real quick, you'll find out he still had $52,000 or so worth of walk-in equity. And if he had to sell it, he wasn't stuck like 40% of young couples in the United States. So you see the value of building a home as opposed to buying something else on the market? Because there are other choices. You could buy a foreclosure. That is what we call a short sale. It takes 8 months. Don't know why they call it short. But then oftentimes you got to fix them up, right? You got to take some of your savings, or you got to get a loan to repair something on the home because it's been sitting so long. Then you have remodeled homes you can go out and buy, but oftentimes you're going to find whatever the bank's willing to pay or give you, you're going to find that the builder or remodeler is priced that home right about that same point. So acquisition and appraised values, they're going to come in at the same zero equity. Or you could buy a fixer-upper for all, if you're talented enough, if you're in the construction business, and you might end up with some equity, but a lot of times people end up spending more on the fixer-upper and they have a negative, but they see that the market's coming back. And in fact, I got this interesting statistic today from the Tacoma News Tribune, but it was an Associated Press from Washington. It said home prices in April grew 3.2% during the month, and they were up 12.1% from the same period in the prior year. So in other words, if you had a $300,000 home, you just added $36,000 to the value of home just by living in it. Increasing demand for new and existing homes, coupled with low inventory, has created a virtuous cycle for price gains, most clearly seen in the western states, that's us, with year-over-year gains of 20% or more. And that was quoted by a Mark Fleming from CoreLogic Chiefs economist. So I think you're starting to see the picture here, because we have a lot of our clients who just finished their homes, or others who finished them 2 or 3, 4 or 5 years ago, and they're already sitting on equity, $20,000, $30,000, and the next few years, guess what's going to happen to the market? It's just going to continue to go up, and their value, while they're living in a brand new home, they're adding thousands and thousands of dollars to the value of their home. So I've got a couple of questions for you. Do you then see that it is simply more wise to purchase a product that gives you equity from the day you move into it? In fact, can give you so much equity even when the market tanks, you could still get out of it and maybe pocket some money. That's one thing to think about. And also, are you the type of person who enjoys the freedom from maintenance on a house? Or do you want to get stuck fixing faucets and roofing and gutters in the middle of the winter? So that's what this program offers people. It offers a brand new product. You can build it where you want. That's kind of what our name implies, on your lot builder. We build on people's lot. I call it spot building because we're not doing track homes. And you'll end up with more of the value of the home, not the builder. Our prices are on our website. They only fluctuate because of what you want to order in them as upgrades. But if you ordered one of our standard homes, and I'm going to talk about that after this part, what comes standard in our homes, you'll still have walk-in equity. On average, 96% of our clients in the past have equity in their home. That's pretty substantial when 40% in the United States were underwater at the end of 2012. So that's the information that we wanted you to think about. We're not just a home builder, we're also a wealth builder.